fireworks for another 4th of July this summer. The flags flying, the music playing, fireworks rocking the night sky, celebrating freedom, I'm told. I couldn't help wondering, though, how we would react if someone burned a flag on that day of freedom, supposedly for all. Some of us might ask, well, why would somebody even want to burn our flag? How could they be so un-American? Of course, if your ancestors were Shawnee or Cherokee or Apache or Onondaga or Cheyenne or from the scores of other tribes whose people were massacred by soldiers carrying that flag, you might not ask why. If your ancestors were Yoruba, Mandingo, Ashanti, and were dragged in chains thousands of miles and then treated like beasts of burden and then hunted down and beaten viciously if they attempted to escape by people honoring that flag, you might not ask that question. If you had been one of the many women beaten, sexually harassed, or jailed for attempting to gain, over 150 years, basic rights such as property ownership or voting by people carrying that flag, you might not ask why someone would want to burn it. If you were a citizen fighting for democracy in countries from Mexico to Nicaragua, from the Dominican Republic to El Salvador, from Iraq to Iran to Chile and Guatemala, and your friends were murdered or tortured by men either waving that flag or men having been trained by men waving that flag, you might not ask why someone would burn it. If you were part of the workers' movement and had been beaten, harassed, or had watched as your husband, sister, brother died from the wounds given by men carrying that flag, you might ask instead why this flag hasn't been burned more often. One might also ask with this history, however, why so many people feel the need to honor the Stars and Stripes. And make no mistake, millions of people here and around the world look to this flag as the beacon of hope and freedom. Like no other country in the modern history of the world, the United States represents an idea, a special idea. This nation was founded on the premise that people should have the right to many freedoms. No matter how imperfectly we've delivered on that premise, that is the promise of America. Foremost of the freedoms is located in the First Amendment to our Constitution, which among other things guarantees or attempts to the right to free speech, free expression. Now, unfortunately, many of our fellow citizens in Congress don't seem to understand that, since their members have voted many times for an amendment to the Constitution that would criminalize the burning of the flag. Aside from the practical criticism that this is like bringing a shotgun to kill a gnat, since only about a half dozen flag burning incidents are reported per year, it's also wrong because it is the most un-American of acts to imprison someone for his or her expression, no matter how repugnant it may be. You see, that is the point. The ideal demonstration of our freedom is the right to do what we want with the symbols of that freedom. Allowing someone to disrespect the flag without legal consequences is the natural and logical act of a truly free society. After all, that flag represents the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. It is those documents that hold the sacred ideas for which the flag stands, and freedom of speech is foremost among them. It is my right to say what I want as long as I'm not endangering others. It is your right to express yourself, no matter how much my family or I may be offended by it. So burn the flag, wear it, walk on it, salute it, but whatever you do, learn what it stands for. I'm R.Smith, a patriot by any other name, for Liberation Brew.